Hello, my name is Nir Lahav. I finished my PhD in physics from Bar-Ilan University in Israel. My field of research is nonlinear dynamics, chaos theory, network theory, and how it can be applied for neuroscience. Consciousness is one of the most mysterious phenomena that we know in nature. Consciousness is the ability to have something that is like to sense the world, to feel, to think. In other words, it's our ability to experience ourselves and experience the world. There are so many questions about consciousness that we don't know to answer until today. For example, which other animals have consciousness? And human babies, when do they start to be conscious? What about AI systems? Will they have consciousness in the future? And what about GPT? Does it have consciousness even today? Most likely the answer is no, but actually we don't really know because we don't have a good theory to explain what consciousness is. The reason for that is because that in the core of consciousness lies a mystery. The mystery is that we cannot find consciousness in the brain. Although we know, or at least we have a very good evidence that the brain is the one that creates our conscious mind, still, when we look at brains, we cannot really find the experience itself. We can only find neural patterns that correlate with consciousness, but not the experience itself. This is the mystery, and it's such a hard mystery that until today we have no theory that can explain this phenomenon. In 2022, the philosopher Zakaria Nime and I published a new physical theory to explain this hard problem of consciousness. We published it in Frontiers of Psychology. And we used the relativistic principle from physics in order to explain what is consciousness. We developed the conceptual and mathematical framework in order to show that if we change only one assumption about consciousness, then the hard problem will dissolve naturally. What we need to change is the assumption that consciousness is not absolute anymore. There's no one absolute answer if a creature has or doesn't have consciousness. Instead, now consciousness is a relativistic phenomenon. It means that now it depends on the observer and the measurements of the observer in its own frame of reference. So now we have an equivalence between neural patterns and consciousness. They just describe the same underlying reality from different point of views. Exactly like when we have a coin and we can see either a head or tail, and we cannot see all the coin at once. Now, after we dissolved the hard problem, we need to create predictions and to create experiments to check and to validate if this theory is correct or not. So Professor Tristan Beckenstein from Cambridge University in England and I want to create together a couple of experiments to validate the theory. So in the experiments, we need to compare states that are conscious, like when we awake, for example, or when we have dreams, and states that are unconscious, like when we under deep sleep with no dreams, or when we are under anesthesia. But in order to do this research, we need you. Because consciousness studies is a very underfunded subject in academy, especially for new theories that are outside the box, like our theory. On the other hand, we think that this theory is too important to leave it in the ivory tower. After all, it will revolutionize the way that we think about humanity and about technology. So why not give humanity and technology the opportunity to take part of the theory. And it makes sense because in the past, science was funded by royalty patrons. These days, you are the patrons. So let's create here a new way of funding science, where people that believe in the theory can actually support it and fund it. This theory has so much potential to explain all those questions that we started with, and to explain the mystery of consciousness and create a complete theory of consciousness. So let's make it happen together. Now, if you would like to learn more about the theory, we created a series of videos that cover all of the aspects of the theory. So let's dive in, shall we?